Hey guys, so it is Sunday morning. It is 7:40 in the morning and I've come over to Alajar. So last night the place I stayed was really nice. Slept like a log. Went to sleep about 8 o'clock, woke up at 5 and stayed in bed till 6. And then I got up, did my bits and pieces, sorted the van out, and drove over to Alajar, and about half an hour drive over. I drove into the town, even though I saw a sign saying only residents in the town. I drove in, and of course I had to drive back out, but it was a challenge because the streets got narrower and narrower to the point where one of my mirrors was touching the wall. So I had to reverse back out of it and eventually find my way back out. And I found this little car parking area, which is obviously where I should have come in the beginning, on the edge of the town. And it's free parking here. It's just a dirt area with trees and whatever, but it's free parking. So I've parked up here. I'm having my cuppa and I'm waiting for the sun to rise. The walk I'm doing today is about 15k. It's got about 600 meters of elevation. So I've got to bring my poles, my walking poles, which I didn't have them the other day and I missed them, even though it was only 300 meters of climb. So I'm going to bring them with me. And yeah, I reckon it's about a 4-hour walk. It looks like a lovely walk. It's really good reviews. So I'm so excited to get out there. The sun doesn't come up until 8:40 sunrise. So I'm really not going to move anywhere until... certainly until 8 o'clock before when I see a dawn breaking, I'll move out and head off for my walk. So yeah, so I'll give you a full report in a while, a few hours time. Hey guys, so it is 2:20 on Sunday afternoon and I'm in this lovely campsite run by a Dutch woman, and it is organic and everything, all the usual things. And it's a strange sort of one, very alternative. Up in the middle of the mountains, they're quite dodgy getting up here to it. But I'm here. I've had a shower, my first in 2 or 3 days. I have my clothes in a bucket soaking, and so I feel like a new man. I'm even having some food. There you go. So let me tell you about today, and then I'll talk about yesterday, and then we'll come back to today. Lessons learned. So normally I do the lessons learned at the end of a video if I've learned something, but I'm going to do it at the beginning of this one, because you can't really see them, but if you could see me, I'm one scratch on top of another. So here was the lesson learned. When you find that you've gone the wrong way, I think this is true of walking, and I think it's true of life. The smart thing to do is recognise you've gone the wrong way, retrace your steps and get back onto the path you want to be on. I know this. I know this very, very well, but I never seem to practice it. So today I had an interesting walk, but before I talk about today's walk, let me take you back to yesterday. Hey guys, so I left the place I was in and I moved this little place up the road, about 20-minute drive. I went up to the Piscina Municipal. It's closed for the winter. I mean, it's scorching here, it's closed for the winter. So I went up there, so I couldn't have a shower or anything. So I decided I'd move and go somewhere else. So I went to this place. It's only 20 minutes up the road, as I said. And I came up here because they got free electricity. So I'm in this little parking area down beside a little museum and a park, especially designed for motorhomes. And you can park up here, plug in, free electricity, loads of parking space, and nice little gardens and things behind me. Absolutely lovely. It's amazing, the infrastructure they've put in place here. Like, we've nothing like this in Ireland. I imagine some of this in Galway, parking space for 40 or 50 camper vans where they just, park there that's reserved especially for them, and then they go uptown, they spend money and do whatever. But anyway, these little villages do this kind of stuff, and it's lovely. So I came over and I gave myself a shower with one of these, my extra large baby wipes. I gave myself a good scrub with it, so I don't smell too bad. And I went uptown, went for a walk. So I did my two videos. I did a video for today's walk and a video for the drive down to Spain, down to here. I uploaded both of them. One went public today, one go public tomorrow. And yeah, so I did that. Then I went uptown for a walk. Now, I say uptown, it's a small place. So I went for a wander around, tried to find my way around, and looked at a few restaurants and things. Just wanted a bit of company. And I just spotted this place, a table aside. Everybody was laughing. Said, that's a good sign. You know, they're all Spanish, they're all laughing and having fun. So I went in and I ordered a glass of wine and a bottle of water, a glass of white wine, nice dry crisp white wine, and a small bottle of water. And the service was just really nice. Like, they were just really good. I asked for any tapas, and so she gave me some meatballs with chips and a bread roll, and I had those with my glass of wine. And then I ordered a second glass of wine, and the lady who does the cooking, who owns the place, folk show here, you see her here, the two of us together, she came up and she gave me another tapas, so I had my second glass of wine, the second tapas, and then she insisted I have a slice of chocolate gâteau. And I got chatting to these two guys beside me and their kids, and so he's been to Dublin a few times, and the daughter spoke, she was only 9, and she spoke really good English, and I asked her how come she spoke such good English, and turns out her mum's an English teacher. So we lovely chat. It was just lovely to have a bit of company. And then I got the bill, as you see here. So I've just left that little restaurant and said goodbye to the couple of guys I was chatting to there. And you know, when Ellie and I say, which am I going? When Ellie and I did the Camino, I made the comment to her that the difference for me was the people. And we've talked about this at great length, but there's really something special about the Spanish people. There really is. I mean, I invested a big chunk of my life in France and French and so on and so forth. This is just a far nicer country. Nicer people, less expensive, but just, you know, you're welcome here. It's lovely. And this is a gorgeous little town. I mean, it's a small little town, one of these little white towns. But boy, did I pick the right place to go. And that chocolate gâteau, after the 2 plates of meatballs, I had one, and then she insisted I have a second one, and didn't charge me for that, obviously. I got a second glass of wine to go with it, and then I had my chocolate gâteau. Holy cow! And yeah, I feel like a new man. And you know, when you're traveling on your own, it's really important to get out and talk to people. This solitary thing, you got to be careful about it. It's fine, and I like being on my own and do my own thing, but just getting out, interacting with people, just gives you a whole lift. So it does, and it makes the town or the restaurant or whatever it is special. So yeah, really happy with my little jaunt up through the town. So as you can see, I had a really nice time, really nice people, lovely food. It was just lovely. It was just great to have that bit of company. I slept like a log. I went to bed at 8 o'clock. I slept till, I think I woke up this morning at 5 and got up at 6. And I drove over to this place, Alajar. And I went for one of my walks. So the walk was supposed to be about 15k with about 600 meters of climb, of elevation, of ascent. And I hit off about 8 o'clock. I waited until it was dawn, until there was some light, and I hit off. And I did the first, probably the first 6k, 7k on the right trail. and it was wonderful. You can see here all the different varieties of trail. There was a lot of woodland and walking through those trees where they're harvesting the bark for the cork, and chestnut groves, and really, really lovely. In fact, the whole walk today was wonderful. It was lovely. Dirt track, trails, not paved, but cobbled pathways and so on. Absolutely wonderful walk. But about 6k into it, I went left instead of right. and I went for about 2 kilometers with a really steep climb. Now at that stage I realized I'd gone the wrong way, but I knew the other path was on my right, and I said, well, if I just keep veering it over to the right on the path I'm on, anytime I get an opportunity, surely I'll pick up the other path. And I didn't want to go back because of the climb. It wasn't really the 2k I'd done, it was a bloody huge climb I'd done. So I motored on, I followed the path I was on, and it wound and wound and wound. It got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, until eventually it stopped. It just vanished. And at that stage I was, I don't know, well into the walk. And I said, okay, I'll go down. I could see paths, little trails, animal trails. I said, I'll follow one of those down. I could see on the Google Maps where I wanted to get to. I saw on all trails were all alternative trails where I said, if I can get down this valley and back up, I can pick up a trail. And so I spent about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, going through dense undergrowth, stuff like 6-8 feet tall, dense, all hard and brittle, and briars and bramble. It was a joke. And in fact, I have to be honest and say that just before I came out onto a pathway, I started giving up. I thought, geez, I'm going to have to turn around and go back the whole way, all through all those brambles again. I'm going nowhere. And then all of a sudden, there was a path in front of me. So, and I continued on that path, and I found my way bizarrely, after a big long climb over another mountain, I found my way bizarrely outside a cemetery. I said, hang on a second, in the guide your man mentioned a cemetery, and sure enough I come back onto his path. So I walked back home. I did about 20k, and a little under 4 hours, probably 3 hours 50, maybe 4 hours, and maybe half an hour, 45 minutes of that for me getting lost in the scrub. It was really, really nice. It was, I cannot tell you how lovely it is. It was a little bit overcast. You can see the way it is, sort of overcast with the sun coming through every now and again. A gentle breeze, probably late teens, 18 degrees, something like that. Perfect walking weather. I brought my walking poles, and I was really glad that I did. They really were helpful on both the ascent and the descents. So a wonderful, wonderful walk. And despite my stupidity, a wonderful, wonderful walk. And and so I arrived at this place, and the lady who runs it, I came back to obviously do Alajar or whatever. I went back there, picked up my camper, and Bolero myself. We drove over to here. It was about maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. So it's not far away, but up like really little windy roads, switchbacks, and Bolero's not made for those. I was down in first and second gear. It was like funny, but got here, lovely woman, really, really nice. The tomatoes in my salad are all from her garden, and they are spectacular. I cannot tell you the difference in flavour between these and the shop bought stuff. Absolutely incredible. So I'm stopping here for tonight. I don't even know if there's broadband here, or phone signal I should add. I have no idea. I'll have to check out and see. But I'm stopping here for tonight. I may even stop here for 2 nights. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. And I have no idea what walking I'm going to do tomorrow, where I'm going to go. I'll do a bit of research this evening and then decide where I want to go. So all is good. Everything is working fine. I'm always petrified of tempting the fates, but Bolero's going fine. The walking's going well. I mean, today was like that 20k. That was a proper walk, and I feel it a bit. I felt it at the end when I came home back to the van. I felt tired, but it's all going well. I think the forecast for tomorrow is perhaps overcast, maybe a bit of rain. So I'm going to wait and see what happens.
and make up my mind then. So that's it, guys. That's the update. Hope everybody's keeping well. Talk to you all soon.